So you just unboxed your EM-90 polymer system. What do you do next? Today, we're going to take you through connections, bleeding, and calibrating your polymer pump, as well as a general how to use this system overview.
The first step is to make all of our system connections. The water inlet is a 3/4 inch female NPT. The polymer inlet is a 1 inch female NPT and must be a flooded suction. On this particular system, the solution outlet is a 1/2 inch hose barb on the hydrocell pump. Your unit may vary depending on which solution pump it is equipped with. The first step is to bleed all the air out of the polymer inlet. To do that, we're going to set the outlet of the polymer back to the calibration tube by having this arrow point up and left. We're going to close the drain of the calibration tube and we're going to open the inlet of the polymer. On the screen, we will go to the polymer pump and we'll press off, which brings up the handoff auto of the pump. We will set the speed to 100% and we'll turn it to hand. You'll hear the polymer pump start running as it starts drawing in neat polymer. It's a good idea to have the stroke turned up to a decent rate for this. We're now drawing in neat polymer and it is filling the 125 milliliter calibration tube on the unit. Once the calibration tube is filled past the 0 mark, we will shut it off. We are now able to close the inlet, open the drain of the calibration tube, and change the outlet position to the process, because our next step will be to calibrate the polymer pump. To calibrate the polymer pump, we're first going to put the polymer pump in hand. We'll turn down the speed to 25%. And we're going to run it in hand until the level of the calibration tube is at the 0 mark. We're now ready to turn the water valve to hand after we make sure that we have room in our tank to accept more volume. The flow of the water will be displayed on the key-ons meter and it will be displayed up here on the screen. The water flow is adjusted by moving the adjustable adductor in to reduce the water flow and out to increase it. Now we want to make sure that we are not just having the valve all the way out, allowing for more water than we have available. We always want to be controlling the water. This gives us the maximum mixing energy in the adjustable adductor. So we're going to turn this in. In our case, we don't have great water here. We're only reading 5.5 gallons a minute. We're going to come to the main menu, polymer pump calibration. I'm going to set the pump speed to 25%. I'm going to press start. The controller will now run the polymer pump for 30 seconds and then it will automatically stop it at the end. This will allow us to read how much polymer the pump is moving at 25% speed at this current stroke setting. I want to point out that if you change the stroke setting on the neat pump, that will throw off this calibration and cause you to need to redo it. Once this calibration has been completed, you should not touch the stroke length on the neat polymer pump. Now the test has ended. I look down and I see that the system has pumped 45 milliliters of polymer. So on the screen, I type in 45, enter, and finish. I am now ready to run the system in automatic mode. I want to open the inlet valve, close the calibration tube drain, and go back to the home screen. I can now press cycle start to run the system in automatic. The polymer pump will run proportionally to the water coming in at the current set point. Our latest version of software features calculators to allow the user to calculate either the solution pump flow rate or the Polymer Makedown percentage that they need for their application. To access these calculators, press the main menu button and calculators. And if you'd like to calculate solution flow rate, that is up here on the right, and polymer ratio percentage is on the left. So let's say that we know our polymer ratio percentage, but we want to calculate solution flow rate. We'll work right down through this. Now, if we want to end up with 5 parts per million of neat polymer in our process, and our end process is going 2,000 gallons per minute, type that in here. And then the polymer ratio, say we know it is 0.5%. That means that our solution pump should be running at 2 gallons a minute. Now we'll still have to calibrate and run this from the VFD on the unit, as the PLC does not control the solution pump, because that could be controlled from your system's DCS. Now if we know the solution pump flow rate, but we want to calculate the polymer ratio that we need to achieve a particular ppm, we can do that by the polymer ratio calculator. So we want to hit 4 parts per million. Our process is still going 2,000 gallons per minute. And our solution pump is running at 2 GPM. That means we want to run a 0.4% solution. And we press set to control, that forces the 0.4% over to the set point screen. The set point screen allows you to set the low tank level that the tank drains down to, and the high tank level that the system makes down to before shutting off. The polymer ratio can be changed here as well as the washout time, which is how long after the polymer pump shuts off that the system flushes out with water before shutting the water solenoid. The post-makedown mixer runtime is set here, so the mixer will shut off 10 minutes after a makedown. Other set points available are the alarm set points. The system will alarm at 20% tank volume, and it will alarm also at 93% tank. This will alert the user of any problems. The Makedown timeout percentage over volume is a calculator built in if there happened to be a problem with the system, such as a level sensor, or say someone left a drain valve open. The system calculates out how fast the tank should be filling, and if you're taking out of the tank faster than 25% more than what it's putting in, it will alarm out. If you're having a Makedown timeout error, you can increase this number to get rid of that. If you say you go up to 75%, now the tank only has more opportunity to fill if you're taking out higher volumes. The home screen has all the information you need. As you can see here, you can press the cycle start button. That turns everything on the left side on, but does not affect the solution pump. When the solution pump is in auto, it will essentially run in hand, except that it will be protected. If the tank gets below 20%, it will shut it off. If it's in hand, it will run no matter what. The speed of the solution pump is controlled either directly on the VFD, shown here, which is a frequency readout. You can increase or decrease the frequency, and you will have to perform a drawdown to figure out how much solution you are pumping to your process. You can also bring a 4 to 20 signal into the VFD, which can be shown in the manual. When the cycle stop button is pressed, the polymer pump will shut off immediately and the water valve will remain open for the washout duration. As you see, the solution pump is still running, as it is not affected by the cycle start and cycle stop button. At this point, I would like to mention how to turn the neat polymer pump into external mode if it accidentally gets turned into local. If you find that the PLC is not controlling the polymer pump, it may need to be set to external mode. Right now I have my polymer pump set to hand and it is running. It is working in external mode. As you can see, the EXT is lit up behind the pump. If I hit the stop button, you will see that it now says wait. If I press the start button, that does not set the pump in external mode. That is running it in manual mode, and that's why it's now running at full speed, 240 strokes per minute. I can control the pump speed here locally, but that is not recommended. Again, stop the pump, and to put it in external mode, push the EXT button. Now the EXT button is lit up, and it is being controlled to 57 strokes per minute by the PLC. When the PLC stops it, you'll see it still says EXT, but the stop button is highlighted as well, and it is still receiving its 4 to 20 milliamp signal, telling it to run at 57 strokes a minute. Under normal circumstances, you should never touch this panel, and all neat polymer pump control should be done by the PLC. There will be times where a user accidentally has the water flow turned up too high for the amount of polymer they're putting in. Because this is a proportional feed system, if we open up the adductor, and the polymer pump will increase speed because of increasing water. If you have a really good water supply and you're running at 20 gallon per minute right now, the polymer pump won't be able to keep up. You'll be able to tell this because by reading the front screen, if you're at 240 strokes per minute, it's maxed out, and the control will give you an alarm for that the polymer ratio is too high. To correct this, slow down the water flow and the polymer pump will be able to keep up. For a link to the manual and a link to our website where you can see a catalog with list price and more information, please see the link below in this video. Thank you and have a great day.